Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, welcome back to Nasiha Sessions. I'm alongside
Strides
Tadeen, aka
Mahboob,
aka
that's it
the young brother from South, mashallah. And of course it's your brother Imran ibn Mansour, aka your friendly neighborhood dawah man. Inshallah ta'ala, we're going to carry on with another Nasiha session. This is the show in which you guys send in emails for issues and problems that you might have, and we try our best based on our limited capacity to answer them in light of the Quran and the Sunnah. We try to advise you in light of the Quran and the Sunnah, right? So Akhi and sister emailed a message, she messaged saying that she works at Heathrow Airport and she's been having a lot of problems at her workplace. Okay? The first thing is that she's saying she's not able to wear abaya because of the work uniform they give. She has to wear trousers and the trousers are kind of tight. That's the first issue. The second issue is that she was saying, the Muslims who kind of work in the airport with her are kind of giving her a hard time. She wanted to pray on time in the prayer hall, and she wanted to pray at work, but the Muslims were kind of saying you shouldn't have to, basically they were getting at her that why are you praying at work, pray at home, if you don't like this go find another job. But obviously she was doing the right thing because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that we prescribe the prayer time on you, right? A particular time, so you got to pray at a particular time, right? And so on and so forth. So she obviously did well, right? But it was sad because the Muslims were getting at her. Now because the Muslims are getting at her and the Muslims are disobeying Allah clearly, when she wants to do things Islamically, her supervisor, her managers look at her like, but so and so like is a Muslim and he doesn't do this. Why are you being extra? So they kind of look at her as extreme. And she's saying to the point where some of the people that work at her workplace are actually calling her ISIS supporter. Some actually swear at her. And she's saying recently, like the thing that really kind of got crazy was the fact that she works for an Indonesian airline. She's not air hostess. She's not a steward. It's not permissible for a woman to be a steward. No. Women cannot be an air hostess traveling without mahram. That's not permissible. But she works at the airport. So in the department for the Indonesian airline, she works there. And basically, in their culture, what they do, she's saying, is that they put their hands together and then they bow forward. Yeah, they bow forward to the other human beings as a sign of respect. Yeah. So she's saying, for me, I told them I'm not gonna bow to anyone except for Allah. And they're saying, and she's saying this is shirk and I can't do this. And they're getting at her, man. And they're trying to force her to do it. So she's saying, I'm confused. My employees are clearly discriminating. They clearly, but they think I'm extreme. And how do I kind of, communicate my position without coming across extreme? And am I right to do what I'm doing, basically?
No.
So lead the way, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. First and foremost, bro, I want to tackle this issue of Muslims who get onto other Muslims for trying to practice their religion. Because it happens so many different places. You see in university, work, everywhere you go, it's like you got that one Muslim who's trying to do good, trying to obey Allah, and everyone else is not doing that and thinks that person is extreme because, you're doing what we're not doing. So the person feels like they're a stranger now.
Exactly.
Because not only are the non-Muslims thinking, oh, right, look, you're doing this, but now the Muslims themselves are thinking, why are you doing this for? Even I remember when I used to work in this one shop, and me and this one brother, we would always want to pray, and this shop was full with Muslims.
Who used to work?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they wouldn't pray.
Okay.
But every time prayer time came, it would be like, oh, we need to go pray, me and my brother, we need to go establish our salah, because, prayer time's kicked in.
Yeah.
So now the kuffar that would work there, they'll be like, and the management team, they would be like, look, these other Muslims, they don't, do
and they actually
that.
make things harder.
Yeah, and they make things harder because it's like if everyone's doing the same thing, it's like, okay, we're upon some sort of clarity now upon like what you Muslims are about. But if Muslims are doing one thing and then so-called other Muslims are doing another thing, it's like, oh wait, but they don't do it what you do. So I really want to get at these Muslims who are not practicing their religion. and I need to like dish it out, like really and truly, you're making it harder for the Muslims. You're calling this sister ISIS support and whatnot and all of this sort of stuff.
And you're the reason why the kuffar are calling her ISIS support.
And you're that reason, but you yourself are an extremist. You yourself have fallen into extreme views.
Hold on. You're saying they're extreme?
Of course.
Because we know ISIS is extreme.
Of course. And ISIS are extreme. Why though? Why are ISIS extreme?
They're extreme because obviously there was a certain limit that Allah gave them, and they went above the limit.
Okay.
Obviously Allah told Muslims to defend your brothers and sisters and stick up for the honor of Islam, but they kind of went extreme in some things. For example, they started, in order to defend the religion and to defend the Muslims, they started spilling innocent blood, which obviously is a major sin.
Exactly.
So that's one angle from how they became extreme.
Okay, so now that's one angle.
So how are you saying that the Muslims who are telling her that they're getting at her, how are you putting them in the same category as ISIS?
Because what we need to understand is when we look at the term extremism, right? This word extremism, ghulu, in the Sharia, we don't define it. We as Muslims, we don't define the term extremism as just people who go overboard in extravagance, in exaggeration rather. We also label those who are negligent of that, like that path you mentioned, that moderated path, that path which is, restricted, that limited path. If people now go under that, they're also falling into extremism. Not from the angle of exaggerating, but from the angle of negligence.
Okay, so let me get this right. What you're saying is that there's a certain bar that Allah told us that we have to reach.
Okay, na'am, yes, exactly.
If I go above the bar, if I go above the threshold, I'm extreme and I'm heading in the direction of like ISIS.
Yeah.
But if I come below the bar, I'm also extreme, but in another direction. I'm extremely negligent.
Negligent, exactly.
I'm extremely short. He's gone extremely over. Okay, that makes... To be honest, that's deep because in the Quran, Allah, He refers to the people of the book as extremists.
Yeah.
Allah says, Ya Ahl al-Kitab la taghlu fi dinikum. Allah says, oh people of the book, i.e. the Jews and the Christians, don't go extreme in your religion. And when you look at it, they went extreme in these ways. Like for example, the Christians went overboard when it came to Jesus. They took him from a prophet to being a god. And the Jews, they took Jesus below. They took him from being a prophet to being a normal person to the point where they wanted to kill him.
Exactly.
So that makes sense. So that's quite deep because now we've got textual evidence. So extreme. So okay, so they're actually the extremists.
Exactly, because now you have a sister who's a genuine sister trying to be moderate, trying to follow Islam the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told her to follow Islam.
So hold on, you said she's trying to be moderate. Because
moderate
Muslim, isn't a moderate Muslim a Muslim who says I'm not going to wear the hijab? Isn't a moderate Muslim a Muslim who says you can go parties, you don't have to wear hijab, your iman is in your heart? Isn't that moderate Muslim? But this is the saying I want to wear the abaya. She's saying I wouldn't want to do shirk. So wouldn't she?
You know what it is, Ak? Yeah, this time moderation is. I noticed one commonality. People just don't understand what these terms mean. Like, people take extremism to mean one thing, but it's not actually the reality of the word. People take moderation to mean one thing, but it's not actually the reality of the word.
Do you think that's because the people are learning these words from the kuffar?
Kuffar, exactly.
And they're not learning them from the Quran.
Because
the Quran does use the word moderation.
Exactly.
And it does use the word extremism. So how does the Quran use moderation? Because then we kind of get an understanding of what a moderate Muslim is.
Yeah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا.
نعم كذلك جعلناكم أمة وسطا.
Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and like that we made you a just, balanced, moderate nation.
And that verse was talking to the companions,
and
right?
That was talking to the companions. If you look at the actions of this
hold on, the word wasata, it means balanced. It means moderate.
Moderate, exactly.
Even if you look at the translation, that's the word you'll find, balanced, moderate, right? So Allah said that the companions of the Prophet, كَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. He's saying we made you a moderate nation. So that means if you behave like the companions of the Prophet, you're a moderate Muslim.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now let's look at what the sister's doing. She's praying. Sahaba prayed. She's wearing the...
and they prayed on time?
They prayed on time, okay, exactly. Good. So she's trying to wear the abaya, the full clothes, the sahabiyat.
Ideally, the jilbab.
Yeah, the jilbab, exactly.
But she's
making an effort.
Okay, so she wants to be modest.
They did this.
Okay, good. Like the Prophet's wife's good.
Naam. the Sahaba, they wouldn't commit shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They wouldn't bow down, do
fact, they'd be
for
very,
anyone.
very tough.
Exactly.
Very tough when it came to this issue.
And she's trying to do this. So for you to call her extremist doesn't make sense, because Allah told us who the moderate Muslims are.
And she's actually a moderate Muslim.
She's a moderate Muslim.
So that means the extremists are the ones who are
opposing her.
Because they're extremely negligent.
Negligent, exactly.
That's deep.
So, and wallahi, this happens so much, wallahi, man. You see, even in university, brothers, like couple brothers and sisters from my class will go to pray. Everyone else will be like, oh, well, like, what? Can you just wait until the end of the class? Like,
and you know what it is? It's because you yourself, like, your iman is weak. And that's your struggle, right? And that's wrong. And I'm not justifying it. But that's you. Why? You have an inferiority complex in front of the kuffar. I don't have an inferiority complex in front of kuffar. I could go in front of a row of kuffar and it's time for salah. I'll pull out my place to pray and I pray.
Exactly.
Sister's saying she's moving like that. Her iman is strong. Allah gave her that strength. Okay? Just because you don't have that strength, why are you trying to bring her down?
Exactly.
I actually remember when I was in university, and astaghfirullah, you know, I was studying law, right? And like I said, I don't encourage anyone to study law. I practice it. And I've been saying for 3 years I'm going to make a video on this issue. I haven't gone around to making a video. One day I'll make a video on why. Yeah?
Inshallah.
But law is book. Yeah? It's batil. But at the time I was studying it, I wasn't practicing. And I remember as I was just starting to come into practicing, summertime kicked in, and I had to do an apprenticeship for experience, and I got apprenticeship in the House of Lords. Now there was a guy, I don't want to say no names, there's a couple Muslims who are in the House of Lords, who are lords in the House of Lords, waliyadu billah. And I remember I went in on my first day with my suit, my tie, I was wearing a kufi, just like I'm wearing now. I've been wearing a black kufi since the...
since them days.
since 2009, 2010, you get me?
Alhamdulillah.
Allahumma barik lana. So I was wearing the kufi, and straight away when I went in, the guy looked at me. And there was an imam in the room with him, by the way. He was a Muslim, Pakistani guy. And there was an imam in the room. And as soon as I walked in, Assalamu alaikum, he says to me, "Look at this thing that you got on your head. I'd advise you take it off. Because you're coming into this place already, like, you're going to be limited. And by wearing this kufi, you're limiting yourself from growing." He said, "Take the kufi off." So I'm like, kind of like, "No, I'll keep it on," kind of thing. And then he had this imam that was there. This uncle, like a kind of guy, and in a beard. He goes to me to ask him. He studied in Pakistan. He studied in Medina. He said he studied in Medina. He's looking. He's like, he studied in the Prophet's city. He's from Medina University, graduate. Ask him. And this imam was like his personal advisor. Yeah, the guy turned around to me and he was like, "Yeah, he's right. You know, you can take it off." Now, them times I thought this is Imam, Shirk, Medina. So I'm thinking, okay, let me take the kufi off and put it in my thing, innit? Expose my hair and that to the people. But later I realised that's the Ikhwani manhaj. So that guy was probably Ikhwani, you know what I'm saying? And usually people get involved in politics like Ikhwanis and whatnot. But that whole concept is so, like, come on, man.
Yeah, wallahi, man.
By the way, Ikhwanis that's a sect. For more information, you can watch my video. I'll put the link below. You learn what Ikhwan Muslimin are. But the point is that that's something. That's what the Ikhwani manhaj is. That you compromise the religion, try and fit in with the kuffar. But no, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
And you know why it's so sad? Because Allah blessed you with such a ni'mah of Islam, and you don't want to, like, everywhere you go, these kuffar, they're so proud of their batil religion. But you want to shy away.
And their religion, by the way, we mean secularism.
Yeah, secularism, yeah.
Even if they're not Christian. Now look at these girls, yeah? You have a girl, sorry for painting a crude image, but she butters. She's not butters. She butters. Furthermore, she's a cratters, you could say. She's a cratters girl, yeah? And she is like, got no shame in, like, she's got like all sorts of rolls up, but she's wearing like a crop top. And she's like, here, like, imagine it's like she just like putting her belly on display for the world, yeah? So I'm saying that is the kind of sight that so peak but will blind a man. But she's so proud of her filth. Yeah, our sisters are shy to cover up. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got these guys, they don't care. A guy and a girl will stand in the streets and lips the hell out of each other and touch each other. Yeah? They're so proud of their rubbish and they feel. But us, man, are what? No, I can't. Like, no, hide in the corner. Can't even pray. Can't even pray to Allah. You know, I just want to mention, sister, you know, because really, just want to give you a bit of confidence, and to all my other sisters out there who are going through a similar thing, don't feel sadness, because we were commanded to follow the Salaf of the Sahaba and the students of the Sahaba and their students, right? And I want to mention to you some statements that they used to come with, okay? For example, Imam Ahmad ibn Bishr, rahimahullah, and Imam Khatib al-Baghdadi brings a statement. Imam Ahmad ibn Bishr said, the first thing that you do, let the first action you do be guidance to the straight path. And then look what he said. When you come to that straight path, because that's what you're on, the path where you have to pray on time, the path where you got to cover up, the path where you can't shake the hands of your employees, the path where you can't bow down to your employee and whatnot, yeah? When you come to that path, you're going to be a stranger. As the Prophet ﷺ said, Islam started as strange. The Sahaba were seen as strange. Look at these guys praying, look at them. But then it became normal, right? But because everyone became Muslim. But then the Prophet said, Islam will return back to being strange the way it started. So now we're living in those times, Allah knows best, where we're strange. Just like how it was at the Prophet's times. So you are now living like a companion. Inshallah. You're not like a companion, but you're kind of in a similar situation to the companions. You are living, you get to taste what Muslims 400-500 years couldn't taste. Yeah? So you're seen as a stranger, looked down upon. So when you come to the path of guidance, to the straight path, Imam Ahmad ibn Bishr said, don't find loneliness due to the little people that are on the straight path with you. Do you know why? He said, because Ibrahim alayhi salam was also alone. He was so alone that he never had a ummah. He never had a nation like the Prophet had a nation. Rather, what did Allah say about him? That Ibrahim, he's an ummah on his own. He's an imam on his own. He was himself a nation. He was a nation himself. He surrendered to Allah. He was an imam himself. He surrendered to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he didn't surrender to the kings of his time. So do not find loneliness due to the fact that you don't have anyone supporting you at work. He's saying, look, he's saying this. Don't find loneliness to the fact that there's no one with you on this path. You're alone. You're at work. You're sojourning it alone. Do you know why? Because you're not lonely. You have the companionship of Allah. So don't look for the companionship of anyone other than Allah. Look, Imam Fudayl ibn Iyad rahimahullah said something similar. Ibn Asakir, he brings it in his Tariq al-Dimishq. He said, prosperity meaning success be for the one who finds loneliness from the people. He says, people, to you, I'm lonely, I'm a stranger to you. But this person, he or she, they find companionship with Allah. Another time, Fudayl ibn Iyad rahimahullah said, Imam al-Bayhaqi brings a statement. Imam Fudayl ibn Iyad said, do not get put off and find loneliness from the straight path due to the little people that are on the path. Sometimes people are like, look, follow the majority. Oh, sometimes people, they look at you. What do they say to them? They say, oh, everyone else is misguided? You guys are guided? Just a minority? How can a majority be wrong? Look at what he said. This is Fudayl ibn Iyad, Imam from A'immat al-Salaf, from the Imams of the Salaf. He said, don't get put off and find loneliness and sadness due to the fact that very little people are on the straight path with you. And don't be deceived, he said, by the large majority of people. Do you know why he's saying this? Because in the Quran, what did Allah say? وَإِن تُطِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يُضِلُّكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Allah said, if you follow the majority of the people on the earth, they're going to misguide you and divert you from the straight path. So Allah is saying, if you follow the majority, you're going to be misguided. Rather, the minority are the ones who will be guided. Allah said, أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. The majority of them will not believe. أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Majority of them will not understand. Rather, who did Allah praise in the Quran? The minority. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قَلِيلًا مِنْ عِبَادِي يَشْكُرُونَ. قَلِيلًا مِنْ عِبَادِي يَشْكُرُونَ. I may have said that ayah wrong. My memory is not serving me very well right now. Also in Surah Al-Mulk, ayahs it's in the last 10 ayat, Allah said that from very few, qalil of his slaves are those who are shukur. قَلِيلًا مِنْ عِبَادِي الشَّكُور. I'm saying it wrong. But the point is, that meaning that very few from his slaves are grateful. I said very few, the minority from his slaves. When the Prophet ﷺ said that the ummah will divide into 73 sects, are the majority going to go hell? the Prophet said 72 are going to go into hell.
SubhanAllah.
The majority are going to go hell. Only one sect of Islam is going to make it. Showing you that, sister, you are following the minority. And who is this minority? The Prophet said, مَا أَنَا عَلَيَّ وَأَصْحَابِي. The one who follows the Prophet and the one who follows the companions. This is what the Salafis are. Muslims who say, I'm Salafi. What Salaf means? Sahaba. Sahaba and the students of Sahaba and the students. And the Prophet told me to follow the Sahaba. In other words, to follow the Salaf. So a Salafi, Sunni is a person who says, I am a person who understands the Sunnah of the Prophet according to the Salaf, ayat the Sahaba. And these are people who will be saved. So my sister, don't find loneliness. These great Imams are saying in this. And the final statement that I mentioned to you is the statement of Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala. And he mentioned this in his Madarij al-Salikin in the 4th volume, page 22. He mentioned that there are people who are strangers. And they are praised. They're the praiseworthy ones. Because the Prophet said, طُوبَى لِلْغُرَبَاءِ glad tidings to the strangers. And the Prophet ﷺ showed them in a good light. And who are the strangers? He described them. He said the strangers are the Muslims. They're strange from the kuffar. So amongst all of the people, you have the kuffar, right? Majority are kuffar, right? From amongst them, you have the minority who are Muslims and they're strange. Why? Because the Muslims, they pray, they worship Allah, they worship their desires. So the majority are not strangers because they're the kuffar. The Muslims, they look strange. The kuffar look at you like, you're strange. Look at you. Why are you covering yourself in the heat? Why are you praying? Come on, man. Religion in the 21st century? Come on, man. You're a stranger. But then Imam Ibn al-Qayyim said, from amongst the Muslims. So amongst the kuffar, the Muslims are strange. But within the Muslims, there is a group of Muslims who are strange. And they are those who follow the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who say, I'm not going to do bid'ah, who say, I'm not going to make excuses, I'm not going to compromise my religion, I'm not going to say this, that. No, I'm going to pray on time, because I realize if I don't pray on time, I might leave the fold of Islam. Because a person who leaves the prayer at its right time, he leaves the fold of Islam. As the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's an act of major kufr. No, I'm not going to compromise my deen. I'm going to stick to my deen. I'm going to hold firm to my deen. Right? So within the Muslims, you're a stranger because you want to stick to the Sunnah. And even stranger amongst the people who quoted the Sunnah are what? Even stranger from amongst these Muslims who are upon the Sunnah are the ones who quoted the Sunnah. Who say, you know what? I'm not just going to practice Sunnah. I'm going to preach Sunnah. And that's what you're doing, sister. You're in your workplace. You're teaching people this shirk. I can't do this. I bow only to Allah. And then Ibn al-Qayyim said, even stranger is the ones who call to the Sunnah, who give da'wah, and then they have to remain patient upon the harm that's inflicted, and they're still upon the Sunnah. You're the strangest. And the stranger you get, the more closer to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his Sahaba you are, and the more beloved you are to Allah. But then look what he said at the end, the great noble Imam. He said, in reality, these people are not really strangers. Rather, they're not strangers. Because Allah knows them very well. Allah, rather, they are only strange in the perspective of the people, but in the perspective of Allah, they're not strange. They're very well known. And on the day of judgment, they'll be with Allah in Jannah. But the ones who are truly strange to Allah are these people. So you can pick, my sister, and anyone else who's listening, pay attention. Either you pick to be a stranger in this life, but you're known in the next life. Or you pick to be known in this life, and then you're going to be a stranger to Allah. So my sister, do not find sadness in this. And anyone else, any of your other sisters who are wearing niqab, and you get harassed and you get bullied. Anyone else, my brothers with your beards, who are not refusing to shave your beards, all of you, do not find loneliness in this.
I was just going to mention one more point to add to that, is if you look to please the people and disobey Allah, both ways you're going to be displeased. But if you look to please Allah and not please the people, then both ways you're going to be pleased. Why? Because pleasing Allah is greater than pleasing the people. At the end of the day, the people will always find something to pick on you. Like, you can stop, if you stop praying your salah now, they'll find something else to pick on you. And you've lost everything now. But if you keep on your thing, they will just pick on you. But you need to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who's happy with you. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. So don't go out and try and please the people by disobeying Allah, because it might get to a stage where you feel so strange and so thing that you give in. Don't give in. Always remind yourself that, I'm pleasing Allah, Allah's happy with me, and that's all that really matters. And also I was going to mention as well, that, subhanallah, what was I going to say?
Can I say something while you're thinking of it?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So on the topic of strangers and in the spirit of that being a good thing, I'm going to say something to you that's going to probably make you even more of a stranger now. You mentioned, sister, that at your workplace they tell you that you can't wear your abaya, or they tell you to wear the uniform, which is the tight trousers. Sister, this is not permissible. There is nothing wrong with a woman working as long as she works in an environment where there's no free mixing, she can wear the correct clothing, and actually legally they do not have a right to restrict you from wearing the clothing that you want to wear. Some people, they say it's a health and safety issue, and that's for some jobs, like when you work in a factory or whatever have you, but you're not working in a factory. And if they prevent you from wearing the jilbab correctly, then my sister, you can take legal action against them, because that's discrimination. But if they say, no, this is danger, health, safety, and they actually have their reasons for that, then sister, be patient and take the high road for the sake of Allah. But you're doing amazing, look, you're praying, you're not doing a shit. Allah said, udkhulu fi silmi kafa, come into Islam completely. أَفَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِبَعْضِ الْكِتَابِ وَتَكْفُرُونَ بِبَعْضِ. Some people, Allah said, they believe in some of the book and they disbelieve in other parts. So we don't want to be like that. We want to take the deen fully. So it's going to be hard for you, my sister. Firm it, inshallah. If they don't let you dress in that way, Allah, I promise you, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ, Allah said, anyone who has taqwa of Allah, who fears Allah, يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا, Allah will find a way out for this person. وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ, and Allah will provide for this person rizq from places and avenues that they never ever imagined. And finally, just to conclude, and then inshallah you can mention your point, Akhi, the issue of bowing, I would just feel like we need to go into this. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah said with regard to bowing when greeting someone, this Indonesian culture, Chinese, Japanese culture, he said with regard to bowing when greeting someone, it is not allowed. As it was narrated in Sunnah at-Tirmidhi that they asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about a man who bowed when he meets his brother. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do not do that. Imam ibn Taymiyyah explains why. He says that is also because it is not permissible to bow or prostrate to anyone except Allah, even though the person is doing it only as a means of a greeting. So he's saying this is not allowed. Then Ibn Taymiyyah goes on and says, in fact, forget bowing, there's even a prohibition when it comes to standing up when you're greeting someone. Because isn't it part of the culture? Like sometimes they do this in school. When a teacher walks in the room, you have to stand up. Nah, you can't even do that. You can't even do that. So he's saying, forget bowing. You're not even allowed to stand up for someone. You're not even allowed to stand up for someone out of what they call respect. Unless it's like a person who's come from a far distant journey that, you see him after a long time. But generally speaking, in my school, you used to have to stand up if the head teacher comes in. I was like, nah, bruv, sit down, ak. Tell him, ak, I only stand for Allah. I only sit for Allah. I only bow for Allah. I only prostrate for Allah. This is my religion. And you got evidences from the Sunnah here to back this up. And this is Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah explaining this, okay? So he's saying, Imam Ibn Taymiyyah is saying, if you're not even allowed to stand up, then what about bowing or prostrating? And look what he said. He said, even a partial bow. So not full ruku', not when you're going down 90 degrees, because ruku' is not full, but even a partial bow. Ibn Taymiyyah said, even that is prohibited. And then he goes on, and he says, some people, he goes with regards to lowering the head before your elders. Some people do it, like in our community, you lower the head, and what do they do?
They kiss it or
they do this. The elders, they do that. Yeah. He said with regard to lowering the head before their elders, such as the sheikhs, yeah, or kissing the ground in front of them and the like. He said these are things concerning which there is no dispute amongst the leading scholars that it is haram, it's prohibited. Okay?
That's also the issue of on Eid.
Yeah.
Some people they touch the feet of their elders and whatnot. Even that.
And there you're lowering yourself even lower, right? You're going even lower than ruku'. It's almost a sajda. It's almost a sajda. So, and Ibn Taymiyyah brings evidences for it. I'll mention the reference to you so you can go to it, yeah? But finally, look what he says when he concludes. He says, standing up and sitting and bowing and prostrating, which in brackets, as the translation mentions, which are all actions that are done in prayer. He said, all of these are due only to the one who is truly deserving of worship. Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth. Whatever is due exclusively for Allah, in other words, Ibn Taymiyyah is saying you stand only for Allah, you sit only for Allah, you bow only for Allah, you prostrate only for Allah. Whatever is exclusive for Allah, it cannot be directed to anyone or anything else in any way, as in the case of, for example, the same way when you take an oath, can you say I swear by my mum's life?
No.
Can you say I swear by Jesus? Can you say I swear by the Prophet A'udhu billah? No, you can only say I swear by Allah or Allah's names, right? And so on and so forth. So he said the same way you can only swear by Allah, the same way you can only stand, and so on and so forth. You can only sit for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, this is Majmu' al-Fatawa, volume 27, page 92 to 93. And the first quote by Ibn Taymiyyah that I mentioned is volume 1, page 377. So I think we should cut that out and make it a part of its own, inshallah ta'ala. But this is a big situation, serious thing. And like I said, Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he's saying this is only for Allah. That which is only for Allah, it can fall into shirk if you do it. Okay, so sister, you are not doing nothing wrong. Okay, and anyone else who's coming at you is they are the extremists. And you be patient, and I promise you, you will be from those who on the day of judgment, you will meet the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we will be able to drink from his hands, from the fountain of Al-Kawthar. Why? Because inshallah we stood firm on the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the path of the Salaf, the path of the Sahaba, even though everyone else was against it. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I was just going to say, a lot of these situations occur as well where you start feeling like you're a stranger because you don't really study your religion too much. So you don't have that yaqeen upon, your belief. It's not that you don't believe in it, but you just need to strengthen it a bit more. And that comes with seeking more knowledge.
Sahih.
So, just to advise the brothers, just to advise the brothers and sisters, make sure that you're always seeking knowledge. Because especially in a country like this or in the West, you're going to be tackled with all these problems, these ideologies, these thought processes, these words and these statements being thrown at you. And it might give you a hit if you don't have, the correct knowledge and, the sound knowledge to be able to defend your religion, So, brothers and sisters, please do make sure that you're studying your religion, according to the authentic methodology.
On that note, we actually have something called Muslim Survival Guide. We recently just changed the name. It's actually called Knowledge College now. So what is Muslim Survival Guide? It's now, the new thing is called Knowledge College, and it's basically an online program where you can study your deen. And it's actually made for brothers and sisters who want to study the basics of the religion, and then you want to grow. You want to start from the basics and grow and learn more and more and more and more and more, inshallah, where you get to a higher level, bi'idhnillahi al-kareem. So inshallah ta'ala, we've got a few teachers on there, a few instructors, students who are studying abroad in Islamic universities and whatnot. Alhamdulillah. So I myself, I'm a teacher on there, as my brother Sa'ad. So if you go to the link below, inshallah ta'ala, you can sign up for the Knowledge College or Muslim Survival Guide. Whatever name is written there is the same thing. Knowledge College, Muslim Survival Guide, same thing. But sign up, you can start studying your religion. We've got loads of courses. Especially now we're starting courses learning about La ilaha illallah, who is Allah, the Sunnah of the Prophet alayhi wasallam, how to pray, fiqh, all that is going to be there, inshallah ta'ala. So hopefully you guys can join us there on the other side. If you've got any issues, please email us at nasihasession@gmail.com. And me and aka Strides Dean, aka Mahbub, aka that young brother from South London, we're going to be here, inshallah ta'ala, for you.
Inshallah.
We love you guys, you know that, right?
No, wallahi we do.
Wallahi, we've got love for you. Even you who don't like me right now. Even you who's going to write something on Twitter right now. Deep down, I love you. Not even deep, wallahi, I love you. I'm being sincere. I can't seem to have any hatred. I only hate the Ikhwanis. And not all of them. Like, as in the main leaders who call to it. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, I really hate Ikhwanis. But I hate anyone who disobeys Allah. But I only hate them for as much they disobey Allah.
For what they do,
I don't completely hate. Remember, right? Our love, when you say you love someone for the sake of Allah, it means you love them for the iman and the sunnahs in them, and you hate them with regards to the bid'ah and the disobedience that's in them.
You love them for the religion, and you hate them for
the evil that they do.
Evil, yeah.
So at the end of the day, you're a Muslim, right? So even if you're doing bid'ah, at the end of the day, I still love you. I'm still ready to take bullets for you, Ag. I'm still ready. If you financial trouble, if I got money, I'll help you, Ag. Still, if you're in trouble, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm there. You get me? So even the kuffar, Allah told us to be good to them, to help them, to be upright to them. إن الله لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم إن الله لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم عن دياركم أن تبرهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين. It's the ones who are from the kuffar, who are not trying to kill you, who are not trying to kick you out your lands. Be good to them. Nothing stopping you. So what about the believers? Saying, I'm sorry, just laughing it. Brotherly love, get me? Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.